Founded in 1924, the American Heart Association is a national voluntary health agency whose mission is building healthier lives free of cardiovascular diseases and stroke. They have an event coming up that you make sure you want to join, and it's as easy as putting one foot in front of the other. All the details are right around the corner, right here on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Brian Lacey, and joining me in studio is Steve Neerman. Steve is the chairman for the 2017 Heart Walk of Polk County. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, it feels like old times. You were just in here last year filling in for the chairman who couldn't make it.
Last year I was a fill-in, and this year I am the chairman, so it's nice to be back.
Number one on our scorecards, number one in our hearts.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, how did you get involved with the American Heart Association?
Well, I work in healthcare, so I'm the CEO of a local hospital, Winter Haven Hospital. So our number one disease that we treat patients for is heart disease, which makes sense because heart disease is the number one killer in our entire country. In fact, kills more Americans than all forms of cancer combined.
And if I'm not mistaken, you may thank your marketing people for this, the Bostic Heart Center?
The Bostic Heart Center is where we treat people with heart disease, open heart surgery. They do cardiac stenting, procedures like that.
Yeah, see, I pay attention when those commercials come on.
You sure do. You sure do.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the American Heart Association, the Heart Walk. You've been involved with it before. Talk to me a little bit about, what the folks can expect with something like this.
Well, what I like to communicate to folks is it's fun. It's a great venue. It's the signature event. It's a walk which promotes healthy habits. And that is the number one strategy to reduce your risk for heart disease is eating habits and exercise. But the Heart Walk is two options. You can do the 5K, which is about 3.1 miles, and it's through Joker Marchant Stadium and the surrounding park, and that's in Lakeland. It's beautiful. And then for survivors, they can opt to do a shorter 1-mile route. But it's on a Saturday morning before the sun gets blazing hot, and families come out and they really enjoy themselves, activities for the kids.
And the Tigers and the City of Lakeland and Polk County invested heavily in that brand new facility. And have you been out to it yet since it's been finished?
I do. I have been. My son is a baseball fan, so we went to Detroit Tigers spring training games this past spring, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, talk about your perfect backdrop.
It really is.
Yeah. So let's talk about the event itself. Fundraising really is the life's blood for a lot of nonprofits, and this event is no small feat for y'all.
It's really not. It's the county coming together. So it's corporations that sponsor the event, and it's also teams of just regular people that raise money for the American Heart Association. People sponsor them to go walk during the Heart Walk.
Now, this year's event, we already know it's at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium.
Oh.
Let's talk a little bit about the day, the times, and things the folks need to know.
So last year, while they're doing renovations at Publix Field, Joker Marchant Stadium, it was in Bartow at a park, but yes, now that that's done, it's back. And September 30th is the day. It's a Saturday. We get started really early at 7:30 in the morning, and lots of activities for the younger ones. And then at 8 o'clock, the ceremony starts, and I say a few words, and we do some brief introductions of who all is participating, and then at 8:30 we walk. So.
And talk about the cool thing about it, whether it's with a family, with an individual, it's really geared towards anyone that really wants to give back to the cause itself.
Yeah, anybody can walk. In fact, if you have a walker or wheelchair, it's accessible for everyone. So you really do see this as a family event, all ages, all types of folks that participate. It's neat.
And with the money raised, where does that go back to?
So the American Heart Association is very focused on both research and education. So it all goes back to the American Heart Association, and they fund just countless different types of research projects to help improve different types of interventions and medical therapies to treat people with cardiovascular disease, and quite honestly, education. It's said that 80% of all heart disease could be prevented with diet and exercise, and a lot of the reason it's not being is because people just don't know and they're not educated on that.
And the cool thing about it, technology has really, well, I'm living proof, the Fitbit.
Yeah.
I think we're all a bunch of Fitbit maniacs here. It really allows us to kind of gauge and challenge ourselves each day as we try and live a healthier lifestyle. And this event really kind of shows you, what you need to do to start off with. And like you said, there are a couple different things you can do as far as walking and diet. What are some of the other things that we should look to do?
Well, exercise, all forms of exercise, so not just walking. It can be just taking the stairs at work. It can be standing at the hospital now. A lot of folks stand at their desk and their computer is elevated.
Yeah.
So that's better for you. So any type of mobility is really good for your heart. And then unhealthy habits, eliminate those. So smoking, which is prevalent in Polk County.
Yeah.
Smoking is obviously a no-no, so that's an unhealthy habit. Or just high cholesterol, high fat foods as well. They clog your arteries and your heart. Cardiovascular disease is more prevalent when you have that diet.
If you had to give advice to that guy going out and it's like, oh, I got to stop this, I got to stop this, I got to stop this, I got to start exercising. What advice, to me, I started off with small steps,
Yeah.
I dropped a lot of weight and eliminated a lot of things out, but it wasn't all at once. It was, gonna.
Steps.
Yeah.
Well, I've advised people, I try to be healthy myself. One thing that's simple is rather than the regular sugar soda, drink a diet soda. Now, doctors will say, don't drink diet soda either, drink water, but that is a small step. Rather than 300 calories, you can go to 0, just go into a diet soda. So that's a small step. And, just like, rather than taking the elevator at work, just take the stairs. That's another small step. So
people would not believe how many calories and how much energy is used taking the steps.
That's right. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to get started. The doctors actually say 20 minutes of exercise a day, so it's not going to the gym for an hour or an hour and a half. Just do something active for 20 minutes a day, which you can really make a difference.
Well, we're just about out of time here. I want to give you the last word and inspire the folks to get off the couches, put that remote control down, and start putting one foot in front of the other, and not only to attend this event, but really start living a healthier lifestyle. How would you do that?
Well, I would just say come and join us for 2 reasons. Number one is I guarantee you'll have a good time. It's a beautiful setting. It's a fun thing to do. It's just an enjoyable event. And number two, it's a great cause. It is the #1 health issue in Polk County and across the nation. So it's really going for the greater good and benefiting people that are living in this community.
Well, Steve, as usual, always a pleasure having you in. And
Thank you, Brian.
you know what the problem is? You've done this 2 years in a row. They watch this and they're like, nah, just send Steve back. He's a lot of fun.
Right. Well, maybe they will ask me again, but there's a lot of good people in the county that would do a great job as well.
All right. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Brian.
it. All right. The American Heart Association invites you to the Polk County Heart Walk. The Heart Walk is the association's premier event that brings communities together to raise funds and celebrate progress in the fight against this country's #1 and #5 killers, heart disease and stroke. This inspirational day is filled with energy, excitement, and hope. Designed to promote physical activity and heart-healthy living, the Heart Walk creates an environment that's fun and rewarding for the entire family. This year, more than 1 million walkers will participate in nearly 350 events. Your participation will help them raise even more in their fight to save lives. Walk with family, walk with friends, walk with coworkers and other members of the community you meet along the way. Join them Saturday, September 30th from 7:30 to 10 a.m. at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium at 2301 Lakeland Hills Boulevard in Lakeland. If you need more information or to register, log on to polkheartwalk.org.